Okay, look, I know I'm only 55. I've been banged up a lot. And, yeah, I got a lot of wear and tear on this old frame. But I want to show something here. I just had to change a setting. I want to prove it. Settings. Okay, look at my controller setting. Left stick dead zone 11. It's only 1 over. Right stick 17%. You know how sloppy that is? And I'm noticing makes it harder to track players when I'm trying to shoot at them left to right, and when I'm trying to defensively build. That's tough, man. So I need a new controller, or I need some money to get this one fixed. So send me money, pay for my websites. All right, I did one drop, finished third. I got clapped by a sweat or a cheater or whatever. This guy was hiding in a bush. It's like, thanks, bro. You're that good of a player. You're camping. I think he was using snap lines, but whatever. Like, I had no chance. I couldn't swivel or nothing. Part of that's my rig, but we'll see. I'm a grouch. I admit it. I hate losing. Well, I can lose fair and square. That's fine. But a lot of times it doesn't seem all that fair and square, you know? That's also part of getting older. You want to think you can still compete. Like, you see athletes that stick around too long. You know, the page turns and you don't get it back. That's really hard to deal with, man. It's hard when you're not as durable as you used to be. That's a real problem for me. I used to be fucking invincible, it felt. Got hurt all the time, I didn't care, just shake it off. Nobody cares. Alright, let's go. We got classic Victor Von Doom here in the green. We master all that lies before, or do we master all lies before that? It's all lies. Everything. Only believe yourself. That's actually advice I would give. You know, don't believe anything but what you want to. Okay, so I gotta land on the perimeter. The parameter. Okay, so I went back here last time. I'm gonna try it again. I got interrupted. Someone actually was landing there. I had to peel off. Hello, viewer. Just in time for the drop-in. Second drop of the day. Did not catch a dub, but whatever. Warm up. I need some wins. I'm at 17 for the season. That's atrocious. I should be at like 30 by now. Chubster. My loyal, one of my #1 fans. It's weird. I have a lot of #1 fans, but that's still very endearing. What's up, dude? How's Kansas City? I remember there's a couple of songs that mention Kansas City. One's by Fu Manchu. I don't know if John Spencer Blues Explosion mentions Kansas City. He does a shout out to a bunch of cities. Jackson, Mississippi. I'm doing okay. I'm a little beat up, broke. Got some personal-ish issues going on, whatever. Getting older and fatter, it's harder to slip through cracks, dude. Trust me. Doing good is better than doing not good. Okay, land on the deck here. Nobody cares. Don't need that. I'll take that. Super Suckers had a song called "The Thing About That," where he talked about going bald and getting fat. I heard from an old crowd favorite scene partner, Raven Triple X, recently, and I just sent her a little Fork Vendors merch bundle. So I hope she's doing okay out there, and she's in Dallas. Man, I gotta go through this fucking snow. This is brutal. Okay. That's bad. It's just the hats. I got some hats left. I got the beer coasters came out really cool, and the keychains are cool. They're just really tiny, but they're still fresh. I got a couple of DVDs. I was really upset with the way they didn't put for putting the DVDs together. They just slapped 4 scenes together on these discs, and I was like asking me to help with the title and whatnot. But like I said, nobody cares, right? Okay, can you open that, please? Thank you. This is not a great loadout. Hats, I have all black or black with white. They're both pretty sharp. I have one gray one left, but I'm going to keep that because that's kind of a limited edition managerial color. My friend made a few of those just as test prints, and they came out really cool. Nobody cares about Superman, dude. He's a lame superhero. Okay, Storm's coming, gotta bounce. From one bounce pad to another. A Fortnite story by Tim Von Swine. Yeah, the gray ones are really cool. Like, that whole contrast of the pink and the black on the gray, like, works way better than I would have ever thought. So I'll take that. Like I said, they were short supply. I sold one to Aiden Starr. I was so bummed up, man. I saw Aiden Starr at AVN like the hour I was there. What is this writing? And she bought one from me. She's like, hey, I'll work with you if you come to LA. I'm like, alright, cool. Turns out she's like, oh, I'll do trade for you if you pay me. I'm like, come on. Lucky there. Those guys are both softened up. Let me give them a little. That's very rude of me, but I don't care. I'm being toxic. Yep, do your thing, man. I'm around. I'm not going anywhere. I remember, Chuckster, you can see me. I can't see you. trucks on that. How do you get me? Oh, the truck's still there. Versus 12. Let's go over to Nowheresville. Junction City. Superman on the island. Okay. I'll just sit back and relax here for the next storm. Get my beanbag out. Enjoy the weather. Seagulls. Maybe think of the old days in Venice and Marina del Rey. I'm stretching my old back again. Yes, you're back, and I'm stretching my back. Ugh. Trying to remember, maybe also in the opening song for Hedwig and the Angry Inch. That might be where he mentions Kansas City. Don't you know me, Kansas City? Something like that when they're I'm a New Berlin Wall, try and tear me down, or something like that. Like, I was born on the other side of a town ripped in two. I made it over the Great Divide. Now I'm coming for you. Do you know that movie, Hedwig and the Angry Inch? I gotta focus here. Oh, you got it. I mean, I'm not saying it's up your alley, but check it out. It was a stage play that got turned into a movie by John Cameron Mitchell. Where do I want to camp this? I really respected the glam rock numbers that he wrote for the movie. They're actually pretty good. It's called Hedwig and the Angry Inch. Hedwig. Just put that in. And it's a comedy. It's funny. Michael Pitt, John Cameron Mitchell. Okay, where do I gotta go? Oh, I'm camped right here. But they, like I said, the numbers that they wrote for that movie are actually really good. God, what was the musician's name that he worked with? Stephen Trask, I think, something like that. Anyway, but there's an opening montage where his band is singing in this little dive restaurant. Don't you know me, Kansas City? That's what he says. That's why my brain kept working like, why do I know of a song with Kansas City to be in? Alright, I'm playing this way too loose. That's what the line is. Don't you know me, Kansas City? I'm the New Berlin Wall, try and tear me down. Anyway. It's about a guy who has a glam rock band, and a guy who was his protege. How many pages? Took all his material, and so he follows him around because they had an affair or they were like fooling around, and there's some funny situations. Okay, someone's watching. I'm camping. I gotta write this out. See, this is the problem when I start socializing. I forget that I'm trying to win a game here. Okay, I gotta get on the road there. Okay, that dude is a problem. He killed the bot, me, him. Might be the last two real players. Don't worry, I'm not blaming you for anything, Chubster. I'm just losing focus. Which one tends to do when you have attention deficit? Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's a number of old standards with Kansas City in the title. Damn it. I missed that last fight. Nice, Widow. If I didn't fuck up that first build, man, I could have got that dude. But that's the problem with me ham-fisting my controller. Fuck that guy. I completely screwed that up. Like, he even dropped in front of me and I only got like a partial shot. Like, I know those gauntlets that shoot those crows at you to get a wall up, like, they take a while to get through a build. Because I've lost to them a couple of times recently and I forgot to, like, you know, put defense up. And whenever I make a mistake on building, who? No, it's more of a what. I just mechanically can't respond in time to younger, faster players, especially if they're. I don't think that dude was cheating. I didn't watch enough of his gameplay, but that was an unnecessary loss. Yeah, the ham fist, you know. That was a line I got from the old Immortal Beloved movie with Gary Oldman, where his son is talking about his ham-fisted playing, how he knows he's not a protege and he's always going to be terrible. I was like, ham-fisted? That's fucking great. That's a great name, great term for being clumsy and, you know, lame. Ham-fisted, somehow ham wallet, you can put those two together and you got ham flying everywhere. It's a world of ham, Chubster. Oh, I needed that win. I need a bot lobby. Sharpen up here. Yeah, I never knew that term until I met Remy Ferdinand a few years ago. I'm like, ham wallet, oh my god, where has that term been all my life? It's somewhere like in the vein of like silk purse, ham wallet, you know, they're all kind of related. Plush pockets, you know. Deep inside those sugar walls. Dangerous, but I'm going backwards. Yes, it does mean what you think it means. You know. good drop and some good bots to warm up on. I always think about what I did wrong the last game when I lose a close one like that. I keep kicking myself. Sometimes it does help me get wins in the next game, but make some mistakes. I just played it wrong, you know. Well, it was not your fault, Chubster. Whenever I missed that build, I should have made a pivot and backed out of there. I should have repositioned. It was my bad. I didn't rotate away from that guy and then put up some walls and either make him push me or find a different angle for fighting him. My bad. Life is all about mistakes. I was crushing those bots though. Let us pray, Chubster. I mean, I would do it, but how do you get hired for something like that? You know, like, I would totally be into that. But I wouldn't know where to apply or what kind of like references or, you know. Wow, really? I'm sure that's not just a who you know business, but like you look at how many big actors, people with significant credits on their resume, who you would never think would need voice acting gigs, totally, like, kind of almost reinvented themselves as voice actor. And like you think of someone like Keith David, who I'm a big fan of. Pretty much everything he's done, like that guy's amazing. Mark Hamill, there's another one. Like there's, ooh, I'll take that. I don't like that gun, but it's purple. So I don't know, I just think that the competition is there. Do I think I'd be good at it? Yeah, I think I'd be very good at it. But part of my voice is what it is because of my my broken nose, my deviated septum, so it changes sometimes. Sometimes my voice is way more clear than others because of allergies, congestion, weather, shit like that, you know? Okay, where am I gonna go here? This is a tough map for me, alright. All that stuff definitely plays into it. It's pre-summer. So it's cool, like it's funny you bring that up because not long ago I was like, man, like being a voice actor would be a pretty sweet gig. But it's probably one of those it's who you know type job opportunities. Ray Liotta, someone else has. But you get what I'm saying. No. I mean, when you think about it, there's probably a lot of voice work out there because of video games, cartoons. There's so much more media being produced now that you think there'd be plenty of jobs, but I don't think it's the amount of work. I think it's just almost everything of any real like substance or level of performance is a who you know basis. I got a bad feeling about this game, dude. Blue chest open. Some real players on here somewhere. There it is. That's not this player. That is a real player. Dead. Oh, someone else is shooting at me? Unbelievable. Hey, Mr. Surfboard. Don't follow me now, bitch. Oh, how I got out of that one. Alright, where are This is bad. Problem when you shoot at bots, you attract attention. I like the fact this phone gives you shield, but bro, paint dries faster than that, dude. My lawn would be 3 feet tall by the time I healed 100 from that. You know what I'm saying? That was ridiculous. It was like trying to make maple syrup. This is garbage. Funny thing about like syrup, I never until I watched videos a couple years ago, I didn't realize that sap coming out of trees was like watery. I thought sap like kind of coagulated outside the tree once it was drawn, like sap, you know. But no, like sap is like liquid consistency, and you got to really boil that shit down. I never tried walnut syrup, but it looks really delicious. It's even more expensive than maple. But don't got money for that. Well, I watched, like I said, I watched them draw it into buckets, and it's like definitely not the viscosity or the consistency of whenever it's finished. Yeah, walnut syrup sounds fucking delicious. But right now, like, honey's like $7 to $9 a bottle or jar or whatever. Maple syrup's all like over $10 now, so I'm sure walnut syrup probably starts at 15 bucks. Whatever, the finer things in life. Oh, come on. Well, we're up against it in this one, Chubster. Yeah, nobody cares anymore. Like, about doing anything about revolting. Like, there's becoming such a wider spread of have and have not again. It's brutal. There's some fighting going on here. Alright, it's me plus 6. Now, those guys that I got away from weren't great. But I don't like this loadout, dude. I don't have a shotgun, and this DMR is not my favorite weapon. As Ian Asterbury from The Cult once said, this is where it all ends. At the beginning of a song called Sun King. Good things come to those who wait. So I've been told. There's purple, okay. Huh, you spelled it wrong. I guess spell that with a U. I know. Train tracks. Ooh, this is a bad zone. Not sure what gun that is, but I'm probably going to get shredded by. Canyon. +5, okay. I could camp the shrub, I'm not going to. Take it to the top. Sounds like boss fighting. That does not sound like boss fighting. That's a player that wiped the bot. That's what that was. Man, it's so hard to get shockwaves now. And that's what I like for mobility and endgame. Alright, me +2, that's the last fight. Oh, why am I glitching so bad? My ping is 440? What is going on here? Dude, if I get a dropout, Jesus Christ. See how I'm glitching all over the place? Alright, I gotta try and focus again. Where's the money? I'm gonna try and steal this. That guy's rifted. Oh, island is in zone, that's brutal. There's that dude. He's gonna find a rift, I think. Which I also want to do. I don't know, dude. I mean, I'll say this. Ever since I got a new modem from Cox, it's been brutal. They told me for like a year and a half, almost 2 years, I need a new modem. And my connection's gotten worse. That's down to 200. Just my connection might drop. No, that is a replacement. I mean, that's with the new one. I mean, I don't want to deal with the rigmarole of them sending another. Oh my god, my ping went up to 577. What am I doing? I gotta quit taking that. Oh, this is terrible. I can't even mantle, bro. This is so bad. I wish this guy knew what he was fighting. This guy has no idea. The reason I won is because my ping is so terrible. I just won a live stream match with 500 ping. Oh my god. Sorry, Bubby. Not sorry. There was something about him using the base gloves. He kept trying to knock me in Storm. He could tell I was struggling, or maybe I wasn't very good. And I'm like, okay, so he's not just sweating me out. He wasn't just like top down ramping on me and killing me. Him hitting him with that one shoddy pump made him like, okay, I gotta reassess this. He had to stop for a minute. And I almost healed. I'm like, no, this is either do or die. I'm not healing anything. I'm gonna reload and then try and crack this dude. Unbelievable. So I think the key to winning against Sweat's endgame is you gotta have 400 plus ping and you're golden. Unbelievable, dude. Chubster, how did we pull that off? Oh wait, let me go to lobby and see if that helps me with any connection issues. I didn't throw the towel, and I'm like, okay, dude, like, what are we doing? And also, like, on the island, he was throwing those base gauntlets at me. It's like, what am I gonna do? Like, you don't take fall damage from the island, bro. That's not very smart. Like, unless you're following it up with an AR or something. Like, that guy, I don't know, made a couple of bad plays. I mean, maybe he made a lot of bad plays, but sometimes better players will try and toy with you like cat and mouse, and they end up getting themselves in trouble like that guy did. That might have been, or maybe that was just someone, maybe it was a not 10-year-old, I don't know, but that was unbelievable. Yes, I'm the man, okay? Don't forget it. Thanks for reminding me. And everyone else out there, it's in chat, I'm the man. So I'm going to switch my skin over since I won a game with the green one. Let's go Doom Silver. Okay, let's go to my wraps. Yeah, even this is taking a minute, dude. I might drop in and get cut. But we'll give it one more shot. We'll do 3 drops today. And see what happens. 1 for 3 ain't bad. I'll take a 33.3% win percentage. Man, I don't know, but that was that's just something unbelievable. Usually I lose those. Like I lost the first game. Yeah, I don't usually get this much mileage out of a win, but yay me, you know. I'm the man, everybody, okay? This is on YouTube forever. Posterity. I'm the last 55-year-old you wanted 1v1 endgame in Battle Royale when I'm at 500 plus ping, okay? I'm gonna wipe you. You're gonna get clapped. Yeah, I'm having trouble even getting in a match, dude. I think I might DC here. Well, if I do, thanks for watching. There's a really good chance I'm gonna DC this match. I should have went and looked at my modem, but whatever. Once more, into the breaches. There it is, in print. Thank you, Chubster. I try. Because I try, and I try, and I try. And you don't believe me. You don't believe me, that's like my favorite Stray Cat song. Why are you never home? Yes, payment options. Just let me know through Twitter, and I'll put one together, either through, ManyVids, or like, we can do like a Zelle option. Yeah. If you're talking about my merch, yes, we do need endorsements, okay? Why am I not endorsed here? I need endorsements from like Powerade and Body Armor. Cinch Gaming, you owe me a lot of controllers. Scumbags. Yo, my ping. Dude, I got the red arrow. I'm gonna DC, dude. Oh my goodness. What zone did I get? What server did they put me on? Is all these frames dropping? Like, I'm on a PS4. I got the lowest res of any Fortnite you can have. And I'm just dropping frames here. 2% packet loss. Wow. This is shambles stream, as Formula likes to say. I'm in shambles. Shout out to Formula. You make pretty good vids. Still not terrible. Formula will never see this. It's okay. I don't care. None of your fans will see this. These videos get like 9 views. Oh my god. This is almost unplayable. See, when I was on the island last game, Chubster, and the guy was kind of pursuing me, I was putting up walls that weren't there. But I knew I hit the button, so I had to believe that they were going to render. And they did. And I was like, okay, this is something that I'm just going to have to, you know, go in kind of blind on that last fight. Because I knew I was pressing the function. And like, I just landed and took that ceiling out, and I don't want that one. It took a while for everything to appear. You don't want no bones. Yeah, I went back down to 40. Okay, amazing. I mean, it should, I don't know if you can see it, but all that stuff should be on my screen where it shows my ping and packet loss. Maybe only I can see it, I don't know. Well, I'm pretty sure it's visible. Kind of center left. Like my politics. Taking the long way around. Going right, and I'm going left. You can't do what's right, you can always do what's left. Right, Chester? There's my bounce pad. Now where am I going to go? I'm in zone. I can camp here for a second. I kind of want to go down here. That's a long stretch though, dude. Yeah, I need to get over there. Need a car. There's not one down there. Bullets. See how hard that was? Sometimes you just can't pick stuff up on a controller because it's too clumsy. So a player down there? Oh, there he was at the very end. Sorry, little guy. Bots almost always build with metal. The ping issue is temporarily resolved. Who's this son of a bitch? Okay, little guy. Is there a shrine here? There is not. Yeah, I've noticed like less dropouts. I'm actually picking things up and my builds are accurate. But all my friends now have PS5s that are still console, and they're all like, oh my god, it's a world of difference. And I always kicked myself, like a little over a year ago, I almost bought one, might have been right around 2 years ago. Anyway, on my Target card right before they canceled it, and they were down to like $3.99, dude, like $4.25 for the one with the DVD disc player. Yeah. What's up there, Vlad? You missed the most like impossible win, dude. I had like 400 or 500 ping in the final fight, and I actually won. Like it was unreal. Chubster was here; he saw it. It was unbelievable. It was grouching away. pass on that. Can always get worse, right? Alright, so somebody's here. How do you get that off, you son of a bitch? Right when I was trying to fucking make that ramp. Only 38 health, but that was lame. Taking over. I didn't even hear that dude rift. We're gonna go here. No mobility. Where'd he go? Even, not bad. Yeah, we get on there late, Chepster. Oops, got cracked. 17% dead zone. Whenever you're trying to defensively build, it's so loose and floppy. I got too close to that guy, man, and when I went to ramp, it ramped into the mountain, so I reconsidered how to get up there, and I just fucking gave myself away. That was my bad. Fucking Juice WRLD. One of my all-time least favorite skins. Iconic Noah. Come on, dude. That guy got so lucky. Alright, one more drop. That was a terrible ending. I played that way too soft. No one to blame but me. Alright, I'll be a lot more frisky on this one. Yeah, soft and pudgy. I didn't say flaccid, Chubster, okay? Not what I'm talking about. As if you didn't know, Vlad, Chubster's mind is always in the gutter. Like, 1000% of the time. Alright, where are we going? Oh, that was bad. Hello, third viewer that you're not chatting, it's fine. Thanks for watching me make mistakes. Try to be mistake-free this match. Competition. Where'd the scumbag go? Yeah, I want to be a little more frisky and chase some people down, but that dude got away from me. I'm gonna shoot him in the back. He's bad, isn't he, Vlad? I didn't say back shots, okay? Nobody said back shots here. Where's this guy go? Yes, it is. Who let you in, Chuckster? Who let you in? Where am I? Map. That's where I'm going. I'm gonna rip from that little pod though. Guys, this is the only place you'll ever see me driving a Tesla. Okay? No Elon Musk products for me in the real world. Always people over here. See? Come on, dude. I can't hit a shot with these loose sticks, man. I had that guy. I shot completely both sides of him with that SMG. That was terrible. That should have just reloaded. Not good. Yeah, I wanted to stay on the shotgun, but that's... I don't trust the reload time. And so I figured I could cut him up with my SMG, and I just missed my shots. And when you miss your shots, you usually lose fights. It's kind of how it goes. All right, one more, and that's it. Probably trust my AR more in those fights too. I should have went back to that, but whatever. Well, Backshot Bob? Well, my name's not Bob, so we're going to pass on that one. I didn't do too many back shots in my career. A couple here and there, but I did a couple for like photo sets, like because the visual was okay. But typically in scenes I didn't give anyone back shots. They always facial or swallow or cream pie or on the cannons. Okay. I mean, one time me and Maple did it with Raven Triple X. That was kind of cool. Like, he still had her in doggy, and I just came over and I backshot her, and then he pulled out and backshotted, so kind of a double backshot, or carpet bombing her, is what I called it. Ooh, I almost fell there. I want to do that. Where are these guys? Never mind. Let's go for it. Man, I don't like losing those fights like last game. That was lame. Okay, that was by the gas station. That one's up on top. Let's get in a whip, everybody. spot. One's always like right by a tree. Yeah, you gotta see it from the right angle. Don't want that SMG. Thank you. Don't want that SMG. Alright. Back to the gas station. Better. Here. That dude's pissed. But it was a good fight. Kit. Thank you. I picked up a crown. Now I gotta bring it home for a crown dub. Right, Vlad? can tap fire the bots. It's more gentle. Maxed. Don't need any bones. No milk bones. Ooh, that's tempting, but that's pretty spicy up there. Trying to keep moving. I haven't lost one of these storm beasts since I brought him back, but every time I do, it's so just infuriating. I'm in zone. Let's go over there. Go down by the seaside, everybody. Bacon Easy, what's up? Praise the Lord, yeah. One day, whenever, years ago, when I lived in Tahunga, the old cable channels, there'd be like a scroll of all the channel networks that were the regular channels. Then you got into like the cable networks, like the public broadcasting ones, and then you got into like the cable channels. I don't know if you guys remember the religious channels. This was all stuff that was free. It wasn't the paid stuff. It was kind of when you had basic cable. And so, I remember my mom watched her share of religious TV shows, and there was a network called PTL Network, and I was watching it scroll by. I'm like, oh, that's Praise the Load. That's a great name for a blowbang line for a facial series. And I never forgot that. And I told my friend Mike at the time, I'm like, bro, we should do a series called Praise the Load and make it all about facials, because up to that point Mike had never had any facial lines. It was all swallowing. You know, sometimes there was a cream pie or whatever here and there, but he never had anything dedicated to facials. And so I came up with that from watching cable TV, and I don't know why that never got nominated for best title. Like, that's just a crime, because that should have won. That's one of the best titles ever. Genevieve Jolie, no, I never shot her. I remember her, but I never had her on set. I'm trying to remember, light-skinned, biracial girl? Trying to remember? Or is she kind of Hispanic? But I definitely remember her. I just know that when she came through, I never had her on one of my sets. Well, she was around for a couple years. crisper stew. Okay. Wow, there's 12 people left. No, I don't think so. I think there wasn't really much work for Tony T no matter what. Like, okay, so oh, I was thinking of Tone Capone. Okay, so Tony T, you gotta remember, like, it's hard. It was hard to blackball a guy like him because him working for Brazzers so much and becoming, because early on he worked for them. He was a very reliable West Coast guy for them and made them a lot of money. Got a lot of team shot. So they were going to protect a guy like that, even if that meant he had complaints or was abusive to performers. No, I don't like Tony. I'm very vocal about that. I've, had my differences with that dude for a long time. But, I want those gloves. But the fact that he moved out of performing and into the production side pretty, I wouldn't say early on. He was performing for a while. But once he kind of got in with Brazzers and shooting for them and running sets, and eventually kind of went into, like, I think production management. He also had a weed store that I'm pretty sure he was partnered with Brian Sherwood on that. And they were one of the first people to get the actual permits. How did that do seen? A lot of people don't know this about the whole, like, LA, Southern California weed stores, is when they announced they were doing that, there was a very small window of time where you could get a permit. And I think only like 50 or 60 people got those correct permits. And him and Sherwood were a pair that got them. Yeah, I remember that happened. And there was all this BTS footage and there was all this stuff. Now, as big as Nicky Benz was and is, Brazzers ain't gonna, like, he would have to do something really, really atrocious. Would I let Tiki Boy interview me? He doesn't want to interview me. He knows who I am. Like, I'm not legendary enough for him to interview. But long story short, no. Tony T kind of faded out. He might even still be in production behind the scenes somewhere making money for those dudes. Because he's been with them so long. Why would he give up that gig in addition to his weed store being, like, very lucrative? Okay, 3 plus 8. Pardon me if I focus for a minute. But no, TT Boy doesn't want to talk to me. He don't care. Ooh, I had that guy. How did you hit me, bro? Stop with the fucking aimbot. You got some kind of explosive rifle? Son of a bitch. Oh, Jasmine Byrne was great, yeah, she did. I remember Jasmine Byrne got accused by a makeup artist I used a lot of stealing from her on set one time. I'm like, no, she didn't rip you off. Keep us 3? Okay, what do we got here? Okay, that's not the last fight. We're about to have the last fight, though. I shot Lucy Ty in the early Cum Glazed, and that was the only time I shot her. Her and Lillian Ty. Yeah, Lucy was great, like, but she was being shot so much. She never really got around to me. Like, I figured I'd pick other girls because she was so kind of shot out at red light. Why, you know, I was shooting a lot for Vince too at the time, and he shot her when she was very early. That's right there. This is bad. Bro. I didn't think I was in the storm when I was. Well, this game's over. Over. I fucked that up, dude. I didn't realize it was in the storm. I thought I was out of it. My eyes are so fucking bad. That was really bad. Yeah, Jennifer White's one of my favorites. You know, she had a really bad drug problem the first half of her career, and when somehow she finally cleaned up. God bless her for doing so. And she's very open about it, which is good. But she struggled with like pharmaceutical pills. Yeah, that was a tough one, Chubster. But once she cleaned up, she also like sometimes those girls, if they age well and they take care of themselves, and then she got the boob job, like things. Sometimes people will still need you because she was a girl who does it all, right? And so in the modern era of porno, there was plenty of jobs for her since she stuck around. She got more reliable. She had a real good track record. She kind of pushed like Dana DeArmond out, if you think about it in a way. I'm not saying directly, but you could have Dana, or you could have Jennifer, and Jennifer was 5, 7 years later than Dana, so she was fresher, not as opinionated and problematic on set. And Dana got to the point where she didn't want to work for anybody. But yeah, Jennifer's great. Like, but there was a scene we shot her when she was really having her troubles, and Mike didn't know what to do. Like, he couldn't finish it. Like, he was shooting a scene with her and Everhard, and he's like, came back to me because I was the PA that day. He's like, Timmy, what do we do? I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, she's this, she's that. I'm like, well, you want me to handle it? Like, I can finish it if you want, because he didn't know how to direct people that weren't easy. If it scene was difficult, he would just cancel it because he had enough money to reshoot someone else. I always had to learn how to shoot people, whether they were problematic or not, and I could only cancel if it was like going to cost us money in the long run, or the scene was a disaster. So I had to go in there and like, I saved that scene, and I shot it. I shot the rest of it for him, which happened a number of times. Whatever, it is what it is. Felicity Vaughn, she just quit, as far as I remember, because she was actually my last POV scene at Red Light District for Come Glaze 4. Felicity was cool. I like Felicity. I never did a boy-girl, whether I should have. I'm going to do one more drop. That was something I fucked up that. See, making mistakes. But whatever. I'm old and dumb. Where are we going to land this time? Going backwards again. Yeah, she was really cool. I like Felicity. I got she did some good scenes. Did I shoot her for nasty.com? I don't know. I got some really good photo sets with her. I'm trying to remember if she stuck around long enough for me to shoot her at nasty.com, because that was in 2007. But she was cool. One of the few girls with fake boobs that looked really good. I think they were. I'm pretty sure they were fakies. Maybe they were real. No, she was real. She was natural. I shot her in like this black piece. It was called like a Piper or something like that. Concentrate. It landed on. Bots land here on the tops of the trees and end up having to neck whenever they chop the tree down. There was some really cool build up to that, because at the time, like, my star was rising. Mike was gone. I was running the show for a while. I've been getting nominations for Best POV Scene here and there. And like with the current crop of directors back then, it was kind of me versus Mason, William H., and LT at Elegance. And I was someone who, from my batch of directors that turned out around 03, 04, we were all kind of turned out at the same time. And, LT and Mason were kind of around with it before me, at least above board. But by the time we get around to me and Vicky, I'd seen her at AVN, and she was with Maz. They'd been dating for a couple of years. Yeah, that's correct. I don't know if she married him, but they were a couple for a while. But either way, she was with Maz, and she's like, "Hey, Swiney, when are we doing a POV?" I'm like, "What? You want to?" She's like, "Of course." And that was, I didn't think about why. And it was because, like I said, I'd been getting a lot of POV noms at the time. And I don't falter for it at all. It was kind of cool, like, to have someone kind of acknowledge that you're kind of at the top of the game, which I was, and I'm not being egocentric at all. I had a little hot run there for 3 or 4 years of continually progressing, and so that being said, she hit me up and we were talking as a build-up, and I was like, "Let's just go straight to A. What do you think?" And we didn't really make a decision, but it was like, if you want to go straight to A, go for it. I'm like, all right. And so that's where we both talked about it, but it wasn't decided, and it was just spontaneous because why not? And we did, and a lot of people that I know personally have said they think that's one of my best POV pairings. And I don't disagree. Well, the TS girls get mad at everybody for everything. They can't help themselves. But you know, I used Eric John a lot. And he was an okay guy, like, on set, but he's kind of a kook, dude. Like, you know, he did some things that were pretty cringy, pretty predatory with girls. Yeah, after Vicky was gone, I kept latching on to new girls and kind of using them for like web content all the time and shooting them out, and never really, and like cam shows, like live cam shows where we'll cam together and we'll split the profits, but you live here and blah blah blah, and whatever. I saw something he was wearing at the Avian house party like last week. It's like, bro, like, just come out of the closet already, dude. Like, yeah. Dude, that guy hit me. Whatever. But you know, I never had a problem with it. It's just he would be annoying at times on set. Nothing I couldn't handle. But towards the end, it got hard to find blowbang guys, and so he was kind of a mainstay. I had these pairs of high heel shoes on my mantle at the chateau. One was clear, and one set was pink. And the clear pair was just some burner throwaway that I left up there in case a girl didn't come with shoes. Like both of those were. You never know when a girl has terrible shoes coming on set. Anyways, for the story, I'll talk about Sarah Vandal in a second. But Eric John had this weird shoe fetish. I'm like, bro, why do you like shoes? What's wrong with you? Specifically women's high heel shoes. And the pink pair was a pair of Chinese laundry. They weren't cheap. Some girl left them there. I forget who. They were like $300 pink pumps. And I found out later from Callista Rocks is because he liked to cross dress. I didn't go get the capsule. What a dummy. I'm going back in the store. I'm sorry, guys. But he was a cross-dresser, and not picking on him. Do what you want to do, make you happy. But she kind of outed him. It's kind of funny. I'm like, oh, that's the way you wanted women's shoes. Well, yeah, no, you can't have them, bro. Sarah Vandella, she was really cool. Like, she'd been around for years, and she was a contract star for a while, for I think Zero Tolerance. And she was another one that I remember when I was sending over scenes to James Dean to build the Pork Vendor site. He was like, "Bro, that scene you did with Sarah Vandella was like amazing." I'm like, "What do you mean?" He goes, "She was kind of hard to work with for numerous people. She was kind of robotic, but you and her had a really good vibe. How did you pull that off?" I'm like, "I don't know, it's just kind of my style, I guess." So that was kind of cool, you know, that someone who was a pro noticed that there was a good dynamic there. Well, you can't find anyone to do them now. America is, how would you say, the American industry is only run by a handful. There's a few people left like Johnny Darko and Jules Jordan that kind of shoot their own stuff and can to some degree shoot what they want. But there's nobody in the talent pool. Oh, the gas station's going to be spicy. You can't really shoot blowbangs they used to, because all the guys left that will do them, they never did them before. Oh, they're almost all spikers. They all inject. Everyone's like got their own OnlyFans and their own vibe. Like, no one wants to like do anything because of what it is. It's because of who they are and how it benefits them. But all of the guys in Europe spike, like 90%. Like, the girls use numbing cream for anal scenes. Like, there is nothing organic about the Euro scene. It's brutal. Blue, okay, this is bogus. This is scuffed. Just want to go up here. This chest. It's like the tadpole guy is crushing it because he gets all these new girls to do group stuff, because having group stuff and gangbang and orgy stuff on their clip store sells, right? So it's beneficial for the girls. But he's also kind of predatory too, because he gets only new chicks. None of the real stars will work with him. The agents he works with are like Fox Modeling and 101, and just use their mid-range and kind of shout out girls, because they can use that stuff too. But there's a reason why he doesn't shoot with the real top stars. Alright, I gotta see what's going on here. Yeah, the money ratio is different over there. The ability to maximize an OnlyFans and stuff over there is different. What do we got here? There's still 19 people. I guess that's kind of good. I need to get here. I have one Elim, it's terrible. But I enjoy chatting with you guys, so that's why I'm not really as focused on the game as I probably should be. Yeah, when you take those dudes, I don't remember the scene specifically. I can't remember the site. Legal porno. When those guys came around, And I saw they were totally copying old anabolic red light stuff with Euros, which is fine. Do what you're going to do. But it was so blatant of a copy. And then I heard from Everhard when he was working with those guys. And I talked to Veruca James and other girls that shot for those guys. And this is years back, of course. And I got the down low on like I said, all the people injecting and what they do with numbing cream and blah, blah, blah. Look, if that's how you're going to make your content, fine, but it's so robotic that now nothing about your environment is conducive to the performance because everybody's artificial. You know what I mean? And so that's kind of what I've been saying lately about how the whole mainstream business now in America, 70%, if not 80%, is people injecting. It's just like, how as a director can you take any credit for the performance when this scene you create has nothing to do with people being able to perform? They're all fake. So anyway, it's just a hot mess, dude. Europe is always like 5-10 years behind on everything, if not more. So that's why they're still able to do it that way. But pretty soon Europe's going to be blown out. And it's going to have to go to like Mexico or Central or South America. Like the Latin stuff is all from like Spain and Portugal. There is some stuff coming out of Mexico, but not really. Yeah, Rebel Rider's not going to get paid for anything here. Like, she's been around long enough. She has that kind of mousy, flat hair. She looks good. I give her credit for a girl who's kind of thin. She looks all right. But I don't want to work with her because of her husband. That dude's gross. I'm not a fan of that guy. There's just so much desperation, you know. Can handle. Am I being mean again? Do I care? Nobody cares. Alright, top 10. Wow, can I get a purple gun, please? I'll say one thing, I never really intended to stream over 2 hours, but talking and chatting helps me like play for longer periods of time, even though I'm playing terrible. Also, I'm sure like with laws and gangs and cartels and stuff, I'm sure it's not easy to set up there and not have someone come in and just completely take it from you. You know, that's not a nice place to try and set up and expect any type of legal protection. Whole different set of rules over there. Okay, E+9, big circle. Storm 5, 10 people left. I guess Vlad left. Can't blame him. Just chatting, camping. Well, she's not going to get paid for any of that work over here. Everything she does over here is going to be content. Like maybe a paid trade at most. Like Europe will pay for that. They'll fly her over and everything because their update schedule is so, like, they're having a hard time finding people that they know they can trust. And if Rebel's popular, she can shoot for them multiple times. So they calculate how much it is to get her over there. They're not afraid to... Armando. Okay, what are we doing here? How am I getting over there? This is a bad zone for me. That bridge is brutal, dude. Okay, I gotta go now. No, I would not. He and I would have to have a real talk and explain some do's and don'ts. But he's terrible. He can't perform. He just records having sex on camera. He talks too much. He doesn't understand the performer dynamic at all. Not interested. I mean, like I said, he and I would have to have a talk. Cause I'm not gonna work with someone if I'm not the lead. You know what I mean? Like, I'm always gonna be lead guitar. Whoever I'm working with has to be rhythm guitar. Oh, they all used to go overseas about, let's see, around like 10 years ago, 12 years ago. When legal porno was getting its legs and really getting popular, they were always hiring American chicks. And then it kind of stopped because they were getting called out for being abusive, which they were and are. Like Veruca James talked about how like she was in the makeup chair and or waiting to go into makeup or something, and two guys were hanging out that pretended like they were in the scene. They had sex with her and then left. They weren't. Like they just duped her into thinking they were, you know what I mean? Like, oh, let's do some warm-ups. She's like, okay. You know, stuff like that. And you can't have that. Yeah, he is. But what's the point now? Like, he's fucking in his 60s. Like, it doesn't matter now. The dude made his millions. Down to 4. I suppose, kind of like a Ron Jeremy thing, but he's in Europe, he'll never get prosecuted. They won't do anything over there about it, they don't care. Alright, these are some real sweats. I gotta find a way to steal this from one of these guys. Ooh, that's tough. Getting these horrible zones. Endgame. That guy's up there. Oh, I wish I had shockwaves. Oh, one guy did die, okay. Yeah, she was. Adrienne Luna was great. Oh, this is bad. Let's fucking go, dude. Finally, I played something right and got the dub I needed. Here, let me put the armrest down. I'll look around like Doom, trying to be cool. I got it. Woo, that's a good one, man. Even better than the other one. Thanks, Vlad. I'm glad you're still here, man. I thought you dipped. I guess Chubster bailed. No, Chubster's here. Oh my god, dude. See, that's how I try and explain how I have to win games. I gotta find a way to get these better players down to my level where I have a chance. So that was really good. Went to lobby and chatted up for a bit. Yeah, there's a few matches there. Good buddy Bacon Easy. Okay, so Adriana Luna, I'm trying to remember, like, I got her in a photo set, and that's how we had a really good rapport, because we took our time, didn't rush anything. I shot some B-roll, and that was the first ever, like, official Swiney's Pro-Am scene. And that led to more scenes from there, because then once I brought her around and shot her, brought around Mike, and he like loved her too, so she got work from us like quite a bit. She was great. She was one of the few girls that actually she put on some weight, and when she lost weight, she did a lot of like cardio and working out because she was with Derek Pierce, so her boobs didn't deflate, so she was able to like keep like her rack, even though she was losing weight and keeping in shape. So Frank Wank, I knew Frank Wank really well. Mike Sullivan was one of the people I knew really well from Meat Holes and Midnight Prowl. I also knew him when he was still an agent right before he quit that and went full-time with Mark Handel and Arthur to do the Meat Cash affiliate program and the Meat Holes and all that stuff. And then also, one of my best friends from the early days and through the whole time was Dirty Harry. I was very good friends with Dirty Harry. And as I got to know him and found out he liked playing pool, I got him into playing pool again, which was really cool. Because he was a hustler money player when he was younger in Portland, I believe. Portland or Seattle, where he drove a bus for like 25 years. Yeah, it was. Whenever we shot those scenes, it was. We'd get into the limo, and it'd be Sullivan, Frank Wank, Jerk Douglas was his original name. It'd be Sullivan and the girl, and sometimes another porn guy, Brandon Iron, Eric Everhard, whoever. They'd drop me off at the motel, and I'd set up, and they'd go grab guys from the adult bookstore and bring them back. And so sometimes it was one or two guys, sometimes it was 4 or 5 guys. And that was all total regular Joes. That wasn't... They got scripted later where they had guys that they were lied upon to be there. Let's say, hey, we're going to be here Wednesday at 10, and they were, already like in the database, but we were still doing the spontaneous, whoever was there, they would try and pull back to the motel room. That was all legit. It's a real deal. Let's not show too much leg here, okay? Let's see. Oh, that wasn't a crown win, damn it. Okay, cool. I think it's more than that. Yeah, when Whitney and Brittany came around, I got Brittany kind of late, and she wasn't very good by that time. And we kind of had to cancel the scene. I forget what it was, but she wasn't great, and I wasn't that into it, so my edge wasn't fantastic. So I remember we bagged it, and we just kind of fooled her off on camera so I could get my rocks off. But Whitney was the one in the beginning. Brittany came in first, started doing all the real hardcore stuff, And she was pretty good in the beginning. And then Whitney came in, and she was just doing like the boy girl and really kind of vanilla stuff. And she was so pretty, man. She was dating this guy, Donnie Cabo, Zach, for a while. But then she also had a substance abuse problem, and it got worse than her sisters, and she went down fast. Have you ever heard of a movie called The Unglory Hole? You got to look for that one. That's the worst movie ever made, next to Asshole Face. You know. Q&A with Tim Von Swine on July 20th. But I should probably wrap it up here. I need to have something to eat. I got to cook some pork chops or reheat some spaghetti or whatever. See if my friend Rebel texted me. I forgot to check. I've been doing this for over 2 hours, but I got a couple of dubs. Charlie Chase was around. She had a good run, but it kind of fizzled out for her the way the business was changing and going content, and she was kind of shot out, and she didn't do anal. But she also, I think, after she got injured at kink.com, I think she was kind of like, that never really left her back of her mind. She got dropped on her shoulder and broke her collarbone and got a concussion, and she should have sued those guys. I kind of said that in one of my Nobody Cares episodes. But like, I think that kind of, after a while, she's like, yeah, I'm good. I worked with Charlie multiple times in POV. There was the bonus scene for Mike, then there was the full scene for Mike, but I also POV'd her before I worked with Mike when she first came in 07 for Nasty.com. I still have a lot of those scenes saved, but I can't release them because I don't have the paperwork. And there wasn't really a co-ownership deal with him like there was with Mike. No, Charlie was fantastic in our POV scene, man. She was great. She was so good every time. She was one of those ones where it was kind of a turning point where I realized I was getting better, and it was getting more dynamic with me and the girls that were the really good ones, that were really into it for the right reasons and weren't just, business-like snobs faking it the whole time. Nothing against them. Some people like them, but when you got to work with a chick who's all business and not really into the sex, it's not as fun. It wasn't. Who do I have unreleased? When there was a lot of raw POV stuff, footage, that I should have kept and didn't, and I gave it back to Mike when I moved out of the chateau. I should have held on to all of that stuff, but dude, those mini DV tapes, they get heavy, and I had stacks of them. I could have filled up a 4-level filing cabinet, and I didn't have room or time or money to move that shit around. So I gave a lot of stuff back I probably shouldn't have, that could have helped me financially. Jennifer White, Charlie Chase. There's plenty of others, man, that I gave back to him. Oh God, what was the other girl's name? The blonde one. Naomi Cruz. I gave that one back. And there's more. There's probably 20 or 30 more. But no, Jasmine Byrne was my very first POV. It was a bonus scene for a movie. It was just a BJ. That was my POV debut back in September or October of 2004. Yeah, it was, because remember, our friend Dan Silver had that place for a few years before I took it over. He got that place early 05, I want to say. And I got that place in 07, I think. End of 07, I want to say, or was it end of 08? Late summer of 08 it was. Labor Day was when I moved in, the Labor Day weekend. I was supposed to be in there, and he still wasn't out yet. And I was like, dude, what are you doing? All this furniture still here. But it worked out. But I don't really have any unreleased stuff. I have some unreleased BBW stuff. I just can't bring myself to chop it because I'm so burned out and broke and angry, Yeah, that was Was that for the Cum Glaze one, or was that for? Yeah, it was, I believe. God, these are over 20 years old. Like, it's going way back. But me and Jasmine got to be really good chums in the beginning, and so there was a different type of banter and trust and accessibility. I could do a lot of things with her that just came natural, and she ate it right up, and she rolled right into it. So that's where I think I was kind of learning and figuring out how to be me more as Tim Von Swine and grow that alter ego. She was a big part of helping me those first steps, which was cool, you know. I don't think there's really many people, if any, that had the same ability to get that out of the girls more often, most often. Yes, we're here to work. Yes, we're also here to try and have a good time and have some personality and some flow. I always tried to make sure that was part of everything we did. Some girls, it didn't work. Anybody new I like? No, because I don't have any money to shoot anybody, so I don't care. And nothing against Darko. I respect his career and his ability to... He's always cared about his visuals the right way, but as a photographer first, handheld camera guy second, I was never really a fan of his camera work per se. It's not bad, I'm just not a fan of it. You know, me and him never met each other, so I have nothing good or bad to say about him. It's just kind of like, he's just another rival director-shooter. Like, I don't really care. He's a legend, for sure. He's iconic, I give him that. I respect him for doing most of it all himself, too. He didn't need a lot of help getting his projects done, getting his movies done. So I always admire people that can do a lot of the steps by themselves. But no, there's no one I care to check out. Like, I'm over it, dude. Like, whenever you don't have money, like, you find out how quick you don't matter to the business. You got to kind of pay to stay in it sometimes, because even though you're someone who can do it all like me or could, like, the business didn't care. They only wanted to hire you if you did what they told you to do. They didn't like the maverick attitude I had. So that's why after working with and for Mike, like, it just dried up and I had to do my own thing, which I did for as long as I could. Well, I don't know if you watched my latest Nobody Cares episode about the last part of 04. You'll get a lot of One Cuba in that one. If that's why you're asking me, then yeah. Like, I really liked Juan. I did. We had a couple of issues here and there over the years, off and on. Even after Red Light, he kind of chirped me one time on Adult DVD Talk, and I had to, like, you know, tune him up about it. Not physically tune him up, but I had to tune him up and come over the top on him and say, hey, look, man, don't be saying that stuff. You know, show some fucking respect, man. I've always been good to you. But I have a lot of love for Juan. I hope he's okay somewhere. He was, overall, he had a big heart and he meant well. But his impulses overpowered his sensibility all the time. And when you're dealing with someone like that, every once in a while you're going to have something surface that you might have to handle, you know. But overall he meant well, you know. You got to ask him that. That's his story, not mine. Like, however he came up, I mean, I kind of know, but you got to do that research yourself, man. I can't be telling. I don't want to waste my time talking about how other people rose up, like, especially someone who's like a competitor like that doesn't show me any respect at all. I'm not going to waste my time talking about that dude. It is what it is. Like, and that's where I try and put it out there that, remember, this is a business where we're all competing against each other. There's no real friends here. Even the people I thought were friends that I knew from before the business showed me, like, they don't want to be friends either when push comes to shove. So, yeah, Claudio's cool. I like him and his wife. You know, Claudio has a big chip on his shoulder, but that's fine. Some of that's also just how he is. He kind of overdoes it just to overdo it. But overall, he's a really, really nice guy, Offset. And I really like Claudio. His head's in the right place. He likes the right things outside of porno. And his wife is amazing. The Amazing Tiziana, that name is very accurate because Tiziana is a fantastic lady. I really get a kick out of her when I'd be around her off camera. I'd go to this guy, oh God, what was his name? Nadir. Him and Donnie Rock lived together. And they would have nights, parties and barbecues, and Nadir would make pizzas. And Claudio and Tiziana would come over sometimes because they're paisans like Nadir was. And I got to spend some time with them, and they were always fabulous. I don't remember how it happened with Claudio and Adriano, but Adriano's a rich guy before coming into the business, so, you know, like I said, I don't remember the specifics of where that went sour, but like I was just saying, it's possible for all relationships to sour in porno. Like, everyone's looking for a chance to put the knife in or cut you loose to pay a nickel on a dime. Like, that's just how it is, dude. People are just absolute fucking trash. There's almost nobody in the business side or as an independent producer with money side that aren't looking to step on someone's head or keep you under a glass ceiling or never give you your just due. It's kind of brutal, but whatever. It wouldn't be so bad if people let you know they were like that when you were coming in, you know. Bro, like, nobody wants to shoot with me. I'm not popular anymore. Like, I have an OnlyFans for verification, but the problem of me not shooting is because it doesn't matter who I was, I don't resonate now. And so no one wants to work with me. If I were to pay someone to shoot with me that was popular, that would kind of maybe reignite stuff. But even like I said earlier to Chubster, like, I ran into Aiden Starr in January. She's like, oh, if you come to LA, I'll shoot with you. So I asked her agent about it. And he asked her about it. He goes, oh, yeah, she meant if you pay her. I'm like, oh, I thought it was like, we'll just shoot content trade. He's like, no, she wants to get paid. I'm like, all right, well, I guess I'm not shooting with her because I'm broke, dude. Nikki Sex was my last scene with like a non-BBW, even though she's plump. My last scene I shot was probably a scene I shot with Sarah Starr and her boyfriend last year in like March or April or May or something. I haven't shot in over a year, yeah. And I haven't released that. There's like, I have probably a half dozen scenes that I haven't chopped and released. That was cool. She was great. It was easy. You know, my health problems have been different. Dealing with high blood pressure and migraines and vision problems. Not playing hockey, so I'm not as physically adept as I was. You know, my coordination and stamina and endurance are all compromised. But I did my best. Like, she was great. I would love to shoot with Nikki again. And she probably would collab with me, but I got too many issues to work. I'm not going to pay for testing right now. I don't have the money. No, me and Mike don't talk at all. I'm very upset with him. I have a real problem with Mike. He owes me a lot of money. He owes me a huge apology. And he needs to show me some fucking respect. And, no, I'm very, 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 very upset with him. I might even, like, you know, that level of upset. Like, it's hard not to think about punching him in the face the next time I see him. I'm super mad at him. He betrayed the shit out of me, dude. So he's a fucking millionaire and I can't even pay my rent. So I have a real problem with that, among other things. No, it wasn't about letting her talk to me. It was the way it came about. After she had shot for us, right? It ended up on a message board. No other girls really did that except for kind of Dana DeArmond, where she liked to kind of fuck with people. Where we were going to shoot the Bobby Star Dana movie, and she said the only way she would work with me, this is Dana, is if I wore like a latex, not latex, but like a lycra or whatever, like a body forming pig suit. Like then she would do it as a gag. I was like, whatever, like that's not fucking funny, you know. No, Mike, it wasn't that he took the majority of the work. It was when I started working with him, he was the main POV guy, and he shot the majority of the scenes. I was the guy who arranged everything, shot all the pictures, did all the paperwork, did all the lighting. He would take pictures here and there. I would select all the photos and for the box cover. I would, you know, I was doing all the actual hard work. And so as time went on, I started shooting more scenes because he was getting more and more burned out and less capable because he had a pretty bad problem with Xanax. And he also was disinterested because he wanted to go open his hotel in Costa Rica, which he eventually did, and left me to do the business full time for 4.5 years. No, I shot with Raven S twice. I did a boy-girl scene with her, and I shot the DP scene with her in Maple, which was, I knew if she would agree to that, that was going to be a landmark scene for my career, and it was. The Raven S and Luna Kitsune DP scenes are off the charts the two most important scenes I've ever shot in my career for my Pro-Am career. I did all that stuff, yeah. And after a while, like, once Mike was gone, I was starting to kind of like storyboard the box covers to give it to Art Attack. That was the people that did the actual artwork. But I was looking at the photos, and I started seeing how they would do it, and to make things easier and faster, I was storyboarding the artwork in pencil because I have, you know, an art background to some degree, and sending it over to them, and that made things so much smoother. I'll get into all that later on Nobody Cares as well. And with that, I think it's time to call cut. Vlad, my good boy Bacon Easy, holler at me. I'll be in touch soon. And we'll take it from there. And last thing, Brian Pumper was Brian Pumper. He was eccentric. I'm not going to call him weird. The dude was eccentric and on the spectrum. That's a better way of putting it. And that's not an insult, because I got along with Pumper very well. I almost shot for him whenever he went to Evil. He wanted me to shoot movies for him because he knew he could trust me, but I was with Mike, so. I don't know. I'll stream when I can. I got to be in the mood to do it, you know. But I'll try and get a Nobody Cares up next week. I'm going to do a summer update issue where I address a lot of things personally and professionally, and do a couple of corrections on there. But rock and roll. Vlad, I'll see you on tonight. I agree with you. Chubster, if you're gone, thanks for coming by. We got a couple of dubs tonight, everybody. Rock and roll. I will see you guys later. Mick Blue has an implant in his dick. He doesn't have a real boner anymore. He's the total phony. Okay, guys, that's it. I'm out. Peace.